Art is a form of expression.
It's expression, it's movement, it's identity.
Art to me is just shit that makes me like feel something or like feel inspired or something I can like take away.
So for me, it's kind of this form of communication that supersedes language, right? It's kind of sharing with other people my experience or my perception of the world in a way that words never really could.
My name is Sarah, and I'm a pastry chef, and I am also a watercolor artist who dabbles in graphite and India ink and various other mediums, but primarily those three. I remember someone actually telling me once that being a chef, working in the food industry was like, that I couldn't do it. It was just a really stressful atmosphere, and just you have to work really hard to get anywhere. And that kind of just spiked my interest because there were so many people in my life telling me that I couldn't do it. That was like, well, if this is the hardest thing that you're saying, like, well, then I should probably go for it. But I didn't have any background, and I didn't even really know what anything was at that point. So it was just kind of like on the back burner for me. And then eventually, after I had graduated high school, I had got my foot in the door to a local, just a small business restaurant, and so I learned how to use a knife and just like kind of the basics there. And at that point, they had trusted me with, oh, you're so creative, like you can do the lunch specials, you can make the soups. And so that's where I really found the appreciation to be able to create things with food. So living in Saskatchewan, yeah, it's definitely hard being an artist because not everyone is an artist here. It's more based around like agriculture and farming. And it's hard to find a community that is art and is accepting to you.
It's definitely easier because you're surrounded by like-minded people in, say, a bigger city, but I wouldn't say it's a bad thing living in Sask wanting to be an artist. It isn't impossible where you live. I feel like it's more about making the most of any situation and your attitude when it comes to it. You shouldn't give up wanting to be an artist in Sask if the art scene isn't huge, because you could be the person who changes that yourself. So, my name is Tran. I'm a barber. I've been cutting hair for 5 years now. It started off as a hobby. In high school, it was just kind of for fun, you know, a pair of crappy clippers and a pair of crappy scissors and just what I had in my mom's pantry or drawer. Started off cutting hair for my friends, close ones, my family, and it was kind of just for jokes, and more than just friends and family would reach out to me and say, hey, like, that's cool. You should cut my hair sometime, and it just kind of grew from there. It's what you put into it, how much effort you put into it. If you don't give up and try your best at something, you're always gonna overcome it.
It took so much trial and error, so many artist statements written, so many grants, so many like, well, I'll submit to this thing, I have no idea what I'm doing, but maybe they'll pick me. So many rejections, so many failed projects. My name is Mackenzie Vida, and I'm a full-time artist. Art is therapeutic for me, and it's healing. It allows me to process things that I would never speak about. It saved me over and over. This summer, I found myself in a really bad place with my mental health, and I wasn't working. I was just taking it day by day, and our backyard has a blank fence, and I had spray paint, and I was like, okay, I bought this months ago. I said I was gonna learn it. I still haven't. Like, why don't I do it now? I have the time. It kept me from destructive habits. It kept me from really bad choices. And maybe I would do like a few friends boards and then be like, okay, I'm over this, but at least, you know, I got outside for a bit. And by the end of the summer, it was covered front and back, and I was doing so much better. I had nothing else. Felt like I had nothing going for me, but I had art. And as cheesy as it is, art can save people.
Honestly, man, rapping kind of really saved my life in a way, because my biggest fear was not being good at anything, you know. whenever I'd be like sad or whenever I would have something bottled up inside, man, like there was nothing more fulfilling than writing about it. My name is Tysnet. I am a rapper from a small town called Leask in Saskatchewan. I started rapping in grade 9, but I really made a deal about it, dude. Like, I just wasn't quiet about it at all. It was just rap battling anybody in the cafeteria. That was sort of like my thing. Teachers didn't like that so well, so I remember it's like the year end, it was like this big pep rally thing, and the teachers didn't like that. Everyone just knew me to be a rapper, you know? And so they actually dissed me in front of the entire pep rally. It was like 1,400 kids. Kind of saw me get roasted by this person. It's super embarrassing. So then that led me to leave the city and go to Rosslyn Junior College for 3 years. I had to go through everyone else talking in my ear. You know, you have everybody telling you what their perspective of what success is, and trying to put that on you when you know what your perspective of what success is. Just having people tell you, like, you can't be a rapper because you have to go to school, you know. Years of people not getting it, but just knowing that, you know, just like, yeah, I'm gonna prove people wrong one day. It's like, that really kept me driven through a lot of the difficult situations I was put in.
A lot of the time, I feel like kind of like an outsider or like an outcast from like everybody else, aside from like art. You know, we've been conditioned to believe that we're not good enough, or like we're not doing anything because we don't have a career yet or something, or we're not where we want to be. It's like easy to get in your head and kind of get stuck when you're like trying to pursue something that's like larger than yourself. I'm Miles High, and I'm an alternative artist from Saskatchewan. Like, that need to be accepted, I think that's where like it started. And then like after realizing like this is more of like an outlet where I can like express things, express my experiences in like a way that's unique and like interesting to me and maybe interesting to other people. That's kind of where I was like, shit, I can like do this. If you know you're making good shit, just continue making it. And if like people are gonna love it and people are gonna hate it. If people are hating on it, it's probably a good thing. And don't worry about people's opinions too much. Just worry about what you want out of what you're making. I think this year was like a huge turning point for me, because I realized like I need to stop waiting for things and just do them. And it doesn't matter if there's eyes on me or not, they're gonna come eventually. So I just kind of took that and ran with it, like creating this like world around my music and like presenting it in a way where it could potentially inspire other people, and it has been. And I didn't expect it, and now that I know that like I can do that, I feel like really confident about like what's next and what I got planned and stuff.
And Saskatchewan is, you know, an ever-growing art community. It's growing exponentially over the last couple of years. It's really rewarding because as the art scene grows, it kind of allows me as an artist to grow with it. My name's Jordan Bidyk. I'm an artist in Regina, Saskatchewan. I do spray paint and drawing work, and I've been doing it for about 7 years now. The biggest challenge for me, specifically being an artist, is comparing myself to other artists. I should be comparing myself to, you know, me last year, or me 2 years ago, or me at the start of my degree, and seeing how much my work has grown over these past couple of years. Be creative with it, experiment, try new things. I only took up spray painting about 1.5 years ago, so I'm very new to it, and it's a medium that I didn't know anything about. And, you know, my professors didn't work in spray paint. I didn't really know anybody who worked in spray paint, but I knew it was something that I wanted to at least try. So yeah, just give it a shot, be creative, don't be scared to try something new, and if it doesn't work out, try something else new.
I think when it comes to like, you know, our feelings and our thoughts, there's like, as they bubble up in us, there's like this amorphous kind of untouchable thing, and we can't really ever share them with anybody. It's kind of an isolated experience. Like I can tell you how I feel, but you'll never really feel how I feel, right? All these experiences that we have as a human are just kind of talked around, but we're never actually getting to the core or really imparting that upon anybody until we make art, in my opinion. So when we make art, it's kind of tapping right through, you know, any of the logic of the mind or trying to comprehend anything. You're just tapping right through the heart and invoking this feeling in other people when they look at your art. My name is Beki Stilborn. I'm a tattoo artist, and I've been doing it for a little over a year. All in all, with the apprenticeship, it was probably about 2 years, but I've been actually in the skin tattooing for about a year. There'll always be a lot of pressure when you're making art, either from yourself or, you know, from other people in the community, especially when you're like young. You know, there's a lot of older people who are like, you'll never make it as an artist, you know, be an accountant or something, you know. There's a lot of people who just don't think you can do it. And I'm not gonna sit here and say you can do it, because obviously there's a lot of people who try to make art a living and don't, but that's where I kind of get back to the whole, like, do it for you. Just make art because you love to make art, and that's what gives you life, you know? Like, just make the fucking art. Don't worry about whether or not it's gonna make you money or you become Instagram famous. Just make it because it's what makes life beautiful and worth living for.